Just a few months ago, Garden Horizon was one of the Roblox biggest farming games, reaching over 1 million players. But today, it's struggling to maintain a fraction of that. So what really happened? These are the questions that we must answer. The what, why, and where. What happened to Garden Horizon, why it led to this situation, and where will it be leading to? February 22, 2026. The release of Garden Horizon, a new farming game released to the Roblox community. It was created by Kane Branch under the community of Dawnlight. As the name suggests, it's a farming game where players can grow crops and unique plants, collect rare mutation as well, and grow their garden. Its player count skyrocketed to over 1.4 million players in early March. Yet, only a few months later, the number would collapse. So what caused one of the Roblox fastest growing farming game to lose so many players? To understand what really happened, we need to go back to mid-March, when the first sign of trouble began to appear. No news about the updates, no hint, or anything. It's just full of silence. The community questioned the developer if there are any updates that is coming that week. But no news. Hmm. The game comes into silence. Rumor comes in and issue rises. People in the community said that the Garden Horizon was just a copy of paste of Grow Garden, but with better graphics. Another issue is about the updates. No news and anything. They, they just disappear. The firing of the stop was connected to the owner of the Garden Horizon. His staff resigned one by one because of the lack of salary and poor treatment. So, let's all break it down. Before we continue this discussion, let me thank to these people, to Sudanese, Kowal, and Sudanade for this information that I got. Firstly, let's talk about the copy-paste situation of the Garden Horizon. What copy-paste situation is that? You might ask. Well, the people in the community thought that the Garden Horizon is different to Grow Garden, and it will be a new start. That's where it all goes wrong. After a few weeks, people call it a copy-paste of the Grow Garden, with just a better graphics. The UI is amazing, and it's different. The place is gorgeous and very detailed. They also added the new mechanics, but if we all think about it, the gameplay is just very similar to it. Players buy seed, plant them, harvest crops, sell them, and just repeat the process. The gameplay eventually felt repetitive to many players, and just, at a skin grow garden. Addition to that is the exploitation that is going around the game. Player making players frustrated to it, leading to players leaving the game, slowly declining, and that's where the cracks started to appear. However, the copy-paste situation weren't the only problem. While players were already growing frustrated with the gameplay, another issue was beginning to emerge behind the scene. The updates had suddenly stopped, from having a weekly update to having no updates. No hint, no news, just nothing. Emptiness, which made the game lose its player. We all know that without updates, players quickly ran out of things to do. As interest declined, more players began leaving the game. That's how it goes to Garden Horizon. Why were there no updates in the first place? The answer may have been happening behind the scene. Developers were reportedly resigning left and right. Also, there have been reported that they are being fired. But why did it come to this point? The creator. According to accusations made by former staff members, it is because of greed. The accusation states that the overall what happened to it was the greed of the owner. The developers stated that they aren't being paid. Whoa. Also, another thing is about the communication. They don't even know what kind of update they will do. That became the downfall of the game. Without the staff, there are no updates to be released. And well, with the issues piling up and having a miscommunication on top of that as well, tension and conflict reportedly began to rise within the development team. Where is the Garden Horizon now? We all know there are still people playing the game, but it was less than 1K or even 100 player plus only. That is how big the impact the issues surrounding the game. For now, there are no updates regarding about the future plan to the game, and if no major updates arrive, the game may continue losing players. However, if the developers address community concerns or return to regular updates, there is still chance for recovery. Another thing is the former staff in the Dawnlight is Seashore. He just created a new studio with other people called Nexus Foundry, and he also said that they are planning to create a new game. In my not so given opinion, is that this kind of issue is very repetitive when it comes to Roblox game. They started strong, issue rises, statements are being released, greedy creators, and the game is ruined. It ruined games with a lot of potential just because of these issues. One of the examples is the Garden Horizon. I hope in the future they solve the issue because we all know that the game has a lot of potential that are being wasted. That's all for my take. Goodbye.